What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's upcoming main event between Marlon Chito Vera and Rob Font in the bantamweight division. You got Rob Font, who's ranked, I think, number 5. Chito, who's ranked number 9. Very exciting matchup, right? You got Rob Font, who's coming off of a lopsided loss to Jose Aldo. He got pieced up a lot throughout that fight. You even could have argued a couple stoppages throughout the fight, but he did lose a decision. And Jose was really able to figure out the footwork, the jab, and he was able to really utilize his counter-striking and really just outclass Rob Font for almost the entire fight. And Rob, though, to his credit, stuck to the game plan, stayed composed, did not deviate from what he was trying to do. And in a sense, he did have a puncher's chance throughout those 25 minutes, and he did last against Jose Aldo, And before that, he was coming off of a really nice 4-fight win streak. He looked phenomenal against Cody Garbrandt, looked phenomenal against Marlon Vera, had a really nice decision victory over Ricky Simon and Sergio Pettis. The guy was on fire before that Jose Aldo fight, and he showed so much heart, though. I really wouldn't say he lost any traction in the bantamweight division. I think that's why they're giving him this fight with Chito. It's very exciting, and his keys to victory, he's going to have to utilize his footwork, use his reach, use his movement, use his head movement, use his jab, do exactly what he does best. He's going to have to utilize that at his best. He's not going to be able to make mistakes. He's going to have to keep Chito Vera at distance and at bay. And this is where I think it's not going to work, right? You got a guy like Chito Vera, who's won his last 2, Frankie Edgar, very nice third round TKO, front kick victory. And then he had that victory against Davey Grant. I think it was a split decision victory. He had that loss against Song Yadong. I thought he won that fight. He did also get outclassed by Jose Aldo. I don't think it was really as lopsided as the Rob Font one. He was able to tame the beast, I guess you could say, against Jose Aldo a little better than Rob Font was. He looked phenomenal against Sean O'Malley. And speaking of that Sean O'Malley fight, right? That fight is a really good description of what Chito does best, right? He has to go out there, take a few shots, feel your power, take a few to give a few, if you will, to get in there and utilize his game plan, right? Because early on, he was biting on those feints. He was biting on Sean O'Malley's feints, and Sean was able to get off with a lot of good body kicks, a lot of good leg kicks. But eventually, you can kind of see the change in Chito's eyes, like, all right, well, fuck it. I got to bite down on the mouthpiece now and go through the fire because I can't bite on these feints. He's just going to piece me up. You can see it. And he stopped biting on those feints. He was able to make it his fight. He landed that fucking perfect leg kick where he took out the perennial nerve and ended the fight via ground and pound. Phenomenal victory by Chito. Why can't I think of it? His victory against Frankie Edgar, right? A lot of people thought he was going 0-2 out of the first 2 rounds going into the third against Frankie, right? Because if you remember, he beat Frankie Edgar in the third round with that front kick. A lot of people said he was 0-2 going into that. I rewatched the fight yesterday, guys. I thought it was 1-1 going into the third. But even that first round, yeah, Frankie was able to take him down and kind of use his game against Marlon. But Marlon was piecing him up with those elbows from the bottom position. He was also utilizing his up kicks every single time Frankie would try and posture up and use ground and pound. He was making him pay every single time. And by that time the second round came around, you could see a very different expression on Frankie Edgar's face. He wasn't able to keep Marlon down. And that's kind of the story of Marlon. Early on, it's hard for him to get in there because he's not the most athletic guy. He doesn't have the best tool sets, right? Like he's not a top 5 striker. He's not a top 5 grappler. He's not a top 5 submission specialist, wrestler. But he's elite at those levels, but you would never say he's top 5 at any of those one things. But the way he's able to put those things together and utilize them in mixed martial arts, he's a top 5 bantamweight 110%. And that is the way he's able to utilize it, right? So early on, usually these more athletic guys, these guys who are more specialists, they're able to kind of use their game against him. But usually, he's so fucking strong, he's not willing to go away. He's willing to bite on that fucking mouthpiece, go through fire, and he has a will to survive more than most guys do. It's a second to none. He's a fucking junkyard dog, and most people just don't have that mentality. And that's where his game plan works, right? He's willing to outgrind. He's willing to outwork. He's willing to take some punishment, to give some punishment, and you damn well know by that third round, you're going to know who the fuck Chito Vera is. And that's exactly what I think is going to end up happening in this fight. I don't think he's going to get the finish against Rob Font, but I do think he's going to get the unanimous decision victory. I think the first round or 2, Rob might look good. He might be able to use that reach and that footwork, but once Chito starts getting that distance, getting that gauge, starts touching him up, and starts chasing him down, I think it's going to be very hard for Rob Font to fight his fight. And that's where, guys, I think Chito Vera is going to take away the unanimous decision victory this weekend. And that's that. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Mr. Mustache MMA News out. Thank you, guys. Let's fucking go.